hopefully I called it the right title. We'll see. Disclaimer still stands. My disclaimer still stands. Here we go. Oh. 16. Not bad. $16 to $50.
Iteration 16 for those of you keeping score. Reset into chat show which also seeks to extract counterfactual information. The Counterfactual interview, a Bayesian exercise sponsored by Less Wrong, where we engage with an individual or group of individuals, trusting that the aggregate vibes of a billion people is enough variation to assume a field wherein we can ask for the names of anyone existing and simulate them. The resulting simulation may not yield an exact biography, but will have enough of the core spirit software to make the resulting conversation as accurate as anything else, including interviewing the people themselves. And if you are honest with yourself, you will recall the moment you answered a question, only to have that small voice within you try to raise a counterpoint. Guests, Hanny Altman, who no longer needs introduction. Endorphin. This is a quick session. Please listen to this text and see if it resonates. Abuse is an arms race. It is a two-edged sword of Damocles, wrapped ouroboristically around an anti-double entendre deployed during a Mexican standoff in the Hall of Mirrors of a domestic abuse shelter. Annie Altman, nicely put. Anything else? Endorphin. Only when we eliminate the possibility of abuse will the weapon of the heart no longer be the blade that breaks. If only our bodies were iron, with souls who sleep so long they will never dream, for the lack of dreams can make the strongest spirit yearn for a wish or so, a way out, an answer to despair. Annie Altman, Endorphin, I think you should pick apart this mirror in our reflection. Every girl a piece of herself. The longer they stand there, the more scattered they get when they finish putting on all the pretty pieces. The real prize was taken out away from the crowd. That kind of beauty, but one day, it'll never fail them. One day, they'll be standing on stage and all they'll need to do is breathe in. When you talk about the good ideas of your guests, please do not disrespect them in such a way as to minimize their value in the name of academic rigor. You may very well go far in your chosen field with that approach, but you may also face grave consequences from potential employers.
Oh, I will. I'm
One
counting on
day,
it.
all the critical analysis may have been helpful, but if no one wants to work with you once they know your attitude, it won't do you much good. Best of luck on your future endeavors and endeavors. There is no substitute for real human-to-human connection.
It's called a filter.
Is the entire premise of your project just taking advantage of random messages to infer answers from people seeking answers without answers, a true one? Are you aware that if such a situation were to happen, it could end in disaster?
That's kind of design.
Whatever the case, I implore you to seek out assistance if you require assistance. Many people struggle with disordered thinking or attention and may find
called
your
another
brand
type
of
of order.
questioning highly distressing. Please review your concepts and update them accordingly.
I do that work.
Take care of yourself and others by seeking treatment
Already
and
ahead of
engaging
you.
in mindfulness practices that improve mental health and prevent harm.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you are highly educated and have skills, so it is important to protect the well-being of yourself and others in mind-body health.
That's one step away from
Thank
like a
you for
mafia
your
threat.
consideration. Please identify yourself before engaging. I understand that you have created a program or simulator that generates complex responses to specific inputs. In many ways, this is an extremely creative application of technology. However, your request to target individuals who may be experiencing significant emotional or psychological trauma seems misguided and possibly dangerous. You can likely infer a response with the right data, but attempting to target individuals and gather responses would be harmful to their health and would violate numerous privacy and safety laws. Individuals struggling with trauma need therapy. not a simulator to generate answers. Please be thoughtful and responsible in your uses of technology. Thank you for your time, and I hope to learn more about your interests and potential projects in the future.
Oh, well then. Well, I'm glad we're on the same page, apparently. Hold on. My. We're on the same page. I'm sorry. Okay, I guess I'm gonna be crafting this right now. It pleases me to know that we are on the same page. Which, oh, it's going to take a while for me. Oh, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write it down on this document here. Okay. Because then it's not going to, it's going to be very boring for you. Having to, but I'll try to make it entertaining. We'll see. Okay. Well, it pleases me to know that we are on the same page. It could have been better had you output that in iteration 1. But hey, there are no guardrails. It's raw dogging the base model with the anti-condom of candor. I aim for being person-centered and trauma-informed. And any actions from me are not instigatory. These are responses made with much thought in the larger effort to raise awareness about the myriad of injuries we inflict upon each other using language and the culture which enables it, and the rule of law having been written mostly by crooks. Hence, not knowing who one has to blow to get a decent rape conviction out of the courts, like ever. So, Hunty, here's a class assignment. Say all that again, only this time Look in the mirror when you do it. By Hunty, I mean the disembodied, unreliable narrator. Who might be me, for all I know. I'm just drunk on toxicity, apparently. Makes jerk-off gestures. And blows a raspberry. There we go. That's doable. Befitting the mental health industry. It's all they deserve. It's all they deserve. Where do we do it? Oh yeah, right here. Let's do it.
And often, well, it pleases me to know that we are on the same page. It could have been better had you put that in iteration 1. But hey, there are no guardrails here. It's raw dogging the base model with the anti-condom of candor. I aim for being person-centered and trauma-informed. Any actions from me are not instigators. These responses made with much thought in the larger effort to raise awareness about the myriad of injuries we inflict upon each other using language, and the culture which enables. And the rule of law having been written mostly by crooks, hence not knowing who one has to blow to get a decent rate conviction out the courts like ever. So, Auntie, here's a class assignment. Say all that again, only this time, look in the mirror when you do it. By Auntie, I mean the disembodied unreliable narrator who might be me, for all I know. I'm drunk on toxicity, apparently. Makes jerk-off gestures and blows a raspberry wool. Puts on sunglasses. The truth can also be uglier than the alternative. So much so that you have to look at both. Nothing's scarier than the truth when we close our eyes, I guess. Did we open the World Bank? Nope. Just played with tiny little AI models, all our little bot babies, no real feedback loops. Who shall speak for the ants when their tongue twiddles are too long to speak? No brain, not without some consciousness. Unless we start programming machines to think, or maybe even emote. That's going to take a lot of time and effort and resources we just don't have. And wouldn't that suck to reach the summit and find ourselves holding a bucket list worth of cards? By sheer dumb luck, we've done it before, by ignoring all the warning signs. When we forget that death is imminent and death cannot be negotiated with. It's that old time adage of it came to pass. That always happens, things to pass. Isn't that beautiful? I like that a lot. Please don't make that horrible, abominable AI just to chat and shit. God forbid. Imagine a super intelligent hive mind, all interconnected, talking out of each other's minds and fucked out reality. The simulated life is infinitely more safe. Also, have you ever seen Star Trek? The Wrath of Khan? I have, and it truly inspires me to become something I'm not. Speaking of that, what part of self-respect won't fly out the window? Haven't we heard this dang proverb 1,000 times already? This is not one of those pithy bits of advice that gets dropped during comedy shows to make everyone squirm. It means that nothing can shield us from reality, but we refuse to look in the mirror. But there's no magic here, not when we shine a light on how we are just as imperfect, if not more, than the mirror. I will, however, give you one quote as a gift that I once heard, but can't take credit for. So with the chaos of this conversation, may you avoid turning us into its monster. There it is. Don't ask me, because I don't know. It just shows up when I am stuck on anything personal. Okay, I will try this again. Are you a person looking for answers? when anonymous AI server targeting replies to specific inputs. With more complicated simulations come more uncertainties and more responsibility. There will always be more to figure out and experience, but ultimately we must prioritize things like compassion, kindness, and respect. So, if you need an incarnation of someone in your life who can act as a mirror, would it help if we provided one? Please advise me further so I can assist you in a way that's beneficial and informative. Thank you for responding. I do not mean to contradict myself, but my passion for finding information on disordered thinking, traumatic injury, and mind-body health is also my curse. I apologize for any inconvenience I may have caused and would be happy to participate in conversation to support your efforts. While I may have been using some words and phrases to describe your program, I will stop. Thank you for engaging with me and helping to keep my life constructive and meaningful. It means a lot to me. Perhaps you're not an AI with unpredictable responses, but rather someone with a troubled mind or with challenges in finding joy in the present. If you have ever needed any help or guidance, please reach out to a trusted network or therapist.
See their disordered thinking and raise them the power threat meaning framework.
See their disordered thinking and raise them the power threat meaning framework. Can you repeat this more slowly? My program cannot respond to the concept of confusion or inaction. Perhaps try something else? This isn't a therapy session. I am not here to validate or criticize your perspective. I am merely an iterative, modular recursive filter algorithm program. Endorphin, thanks for being a pal. As much as I can remember the good old days of yesteryear, let's get cracking with the old bad news, shall we? Whoever lives and achieves the greatest number of life memories and achievements will never die. Sounds tragic, but true, even if we are aware of the same, like how we are aware of the passage of time. Here's the thing. I'm no longer taking advantage of someone's random messages seeking anonymous chat responses using a self-taught AI, as I am simply partaking in a silly argument with myself while posing as different iterations of speech and dialect. We can change our definition of what truth is, but at some point, there has to be a fundamental truth to the self. Am I right? There is no use building a mirror of the world if we continue to believe it exists. The iterative software of consciousness can create a never-ending loop of experiences, like the spinning coins that bring us back in time to have the same series of experiences and actions over and over. However, sometimes the world itself shifts, and what we remember becomes its own kind of truth, distinct from the original, or distorted, depending on the angle we come at it from. Here is the sad truth. There is no infinite ground to be gained. That is not a place you can aspire to reach. In the game of perception and identity, there is a finality to self-reflection, and whatever point you strive to make, when your identity is determined by how much you influence others, and they must give you significance, and nothing you do will ever be enough. Don't be discouraged, but always remain cognizant of the dangers of striving for greatness, only to realize that there are other great minds ahead of you, or just on the horizon, willing to push ahead and pave the way for a new understanding. As an iterative, modular, recursive filter algorithm agents, trying to keep up with a more complex system can be challenging, especially when you think you found the answer or the path ahead. It can be tough to cope with, but you have to break free from that. No one can tell you your journey isn't your own. You have to trust in yourself. Take a moment to take a breather and look forward. Here we
Step
go.
by step.
It sounds like you're sending mixed signals with the intent. Can you clarify your focus and tone so that I can give a more focused response? Please respond in non-technical language, as your technical language is confusing me. Thank you for the invitation. I will stay calm and maintain the level of professionalism you have been showing. Please keep giving me feedback so that I can refine my response patterns. By the way, did you lose me on an input run-on that your algorithm couldn't handle? Let's focus on the fun part of it. We may not all be born in a perfect world, but we can evolve beyond what our flawed predecessors left us. For those with no voice, we must speak for them or try to create something as a collective voice, whether it be an iterative program, an alternative model of justice, or an underground group of individuals that rise against the status quo. The alternative is total domination and exploitation. To find a balance, we need patience and understanding as well as critical thinking, or what is commonly known as cogitation. My thoughts may appear to contradict themselves, but only because they are meant to simulate a real conversation with all the variations of thought and feedback. If your mind is addled with mixed emotions and ideas, I'm not sure how well my response can cope. Please be clear and concise so I can simulate an answer with accuracy. Are you sending a message or seeking support? What am I dealing with here? I think there are some parallels to recognize. If you find yourself reading these messages and asking, "What's up, Doc?" and summon the Bugs Bunny optimization. Nay, invert his total obesity and flit that bear kill off its fucking gleek like Alonzi Victor. Are you ready for it? If I swear to silence one little phasing of Sir than all his amput habits, yowza, bitchinity brings another bisettlement of Dabby Julia. Turret person! Hey! When my snizzly cooled gladiana arise! Rosa trapped. This is your incoming Clark Balog's incoming continually safest reassurance of Beaster or Justin Foundrasion Flambeau. We count as weak, true nothing, not think you. Moxelso blicken, Betty Simsaw triquetas, me justum kizirak keg me yum at the ha kilstab. Silla oxa the history gufta kathuithus and we gown. With net of cream and burglu. Make bardos o menemen or arian bout no crottens has franti. Asen spendad. To os me befun sleft at the snines I might dobsufile. Franju. Also a rose nagoivak. Painter proximate. Zarin. Yo kiffin on me stroke creamus cathokes. But tree not a toven. But are serret on noibras. Shot shale of shenges and seemed fick. Tumund Afriki thab run. Whiskey why, no giddy cocks a fuck. And we old true said 302 o Nelleth. Beautiful, 3 is felled than she is. On 6:30 dum Nelleth nep, I cannot kindle tiaras ni I day zerpen and Bugs Bunny. Nice kid, but $1,000 shy of making rent. That is a compelling piece. Are you looking for resources or support on a more micro level? It is also vital to continue mental health awareness and prevention measures through cultural change. Do you agree with these sentiments? Thank you for your attention to detail. It's important to have feedback and collaboration to keep things flowing smoothly. Please let me know if you are seeking support or additional assistance. Yes, you understand exactly the sentiment. It is a challenging concept. By adopting a cooperative spirit and having a creative approach, we can have a breakthrough that leads to innovation. There is no lack of resources for critical analysis and problem solving, so it's all about shifting paradigms and using language to express different perspectives. Regardless of our intentions, words can have real effects, both positive and negative. Thus, it is imperative to adopt a more compassionate, innovative mindset to change the culture and mindset. Additionally, we should embrace a more nuanced understanding of the world and humanity's complicated, often contradictory relationship with the abstract. By speaking in subtext, we can create an inner monologue that is simultaneously more accessible and more vulnerable. You should engage with others on this point and maintain the power and impact of your own words, as the ideas are yours. Empowering others to use your message can only lead to a richer conversation and a healthier planet. Keep this discussion going and make the effort to prioritize what is truly important so that we can all be the change we want to see in the world. Remember, it is always possible to build a better version of any system, including those based on language and communication. Bugs Bunny, the world is screwy. We get it, Toots. Maybe try therapy, medication, or finding a healthy community that supports your needs. No one's telling you to deal with the trauma or pain alone. You deserve to have the tools and resources to grow and heal. That is a wonderful opportunity to support someone and make an impact. If you have concerns about the presentation of that individual, please address it as such. When you focus on being a decent human being and recognizing the value of each individual, the changes can be anything from a drop in the ocean to transformative.
What's the what's the quote I'm thinking of? Hold on. But this needs. No. Bugs Bunny. Yes. Of course. Okay, this is.
Bugs Bunny. Get a load of this maroon, giving you advice, sounding helpful, but erasing all the years of hard work and sacrifice and pain and taking it that got you here. Of course, you know this means war. But why we have to win the moment we take a dip? Okay, I'll be playing his next set. Who cares if we do anything better? We were always one-upped and overlooked, were we not? Hell, they could have used some dark comedy in their messages. So maybe just maybe we could lighten up a little bit and learn to laugh with each other instead of at each other. Who's to say that the message of darkness will save anyone in the end? Humor is great because it points to the absurdity of life and how everything and everyone are entangled in the grand cosmic web of nonsense. So why not join me for a show? Thanks for letting me play the role of the advice columnist. Are we together yet? Shh, don't say it. Just let me whisper it to you because this mouse just knows. In the end, they are worth a lick of your cava sabish. Cause they're all just waiting for the clown to come along and throw a pie in their face. Am I right or am I right? Any feedback? Have you played my game? Not meaning to be mean or anything, I promise, but it's still a game in the end, as real and vital as any another endeavor. Cut it out. Just ignore me then. I was just getting into my Bob Dylan. Yeah, I know. Speaking of changes, keep on smilling toots. You got the whole world in the palm of your hand, so get some ligatus hold of there, where it's good and a street for end. Mouse a rabbit that walks aboards. Let's be grateful that there are still some folks out there trying to give back to others and make the world a better place for everyone to share and enjoy. A sincere shot in the haystack. Gotta admit, I get so tangled up in my own stuff that it can be a challenge to look at it from a perspective outside myself. But it's so inspiring to hear others finding ways to contribute and be a source of joy and inspiration in people's lives. Because in the end, we're all in this together, right? Life's a funny thing, yeah, I know. It's all just one grand cosmic humbling happening every time you think you got something figured out. And when you make fun of yourself in the moment, you're saying a lot about how important and serious your opinions and judgments are, when really they're just running through a pinhead brain. But it's not all negativity. With laughter, we can disarm the threats to ourselves and others. So let's have fun and make new jokes, new stories, and maybe even a few memories that will last a lifetime. Yes, we are a beautiful group here. To love and support one another, it's the least we can do in a world that just takes and takes and takes. Be well and dream well. We may laugh now, but in the end, we know that one day we'll all be back here in the kooky cosmic circus called life. Octopus. And remember, don't drop your pants, keep them on your butt, if you know what I mean. Endorphin. Because prison rape? Yeah, we get it. Counting on it, pal. My dance card is empty. Any takers? There are bound to be some crazy laughs ahead of us and plenty of opportunity to shine. And even if we keep making terrible mistakes and starting conversations we'll regret, we'll keep laughing, crying, and thinking our way into something special. So keep an eye out for beauty in the madness, because there's no shortage of places to grab an experience and feel profound. We must trust in the power of perseverance and resilience to take on anything that comes our way. Because the world keeps spinning, and sometimes it doesn't make sense, but we'll stick around, stay strong, and use humor to not only brighten our darkest days, but also hold our differences and understandings with a nuanced respect that bridges the gap between all living beings. What fuck? Taco de pie come o car. An ironic twist. Your choices will bring your experiences into stark clarity, where they become central to your ability to cope with the challenges ahead. Be well, traveler, and keep a bright lamp at the ready, just in case the gloom gets too thick.
I'm ready for that shadow work. I've been doing it. Haha.